Have you ever found yourself thinking that you need a disc vacation? Let me ask you, why not Koh Samui? Sawadee and welcome to part one of disc vacation at Koh Samui. And in this part one, we are going to talk about the disc golf course at Mai Nam. And this disc golf course is a little bit special in Thailand because, in a way, it's the first disc golf course here ever. Technically, it's the second, but it was created the same guy. So in this episode, we're going to talk to the creator of this disc golf course, and sadly he won't be showing off a little the course, but the course is so famous you can find a lot of footage about this course in the Disc Golf Guide channel. I'm going to leave a link below, and we're just going to sit down with the Nigel Mills and talk whatever we're going to talk about. Check it out.
So my name is Nigel Mills. I'm American. I've been in Thailand 20 years now. This is my 20th year. Right before coming to Thailand, I got into disc golf in Southern California. Played a few courses there. And when I came out here, I was 3 months addicted to playing disc golf, and I started looking around at all these coconuts, and I'm like, man, we could build a course here. And so I built my first course in 2004. And there was no YouTube, no Facebook. There was about 2,000 courses registered on the PDGA, and I got registered there. Had a few real players come, but mainly it was just locals hanging out and playing. But they never got into like the disc culture and got into the tournament thing. And then I opened this course. I closed that one in 2006, and then I reopened this in 2013. So 7 years later, things changed a lot, and it's been great. It took a while. The first couple of years was real slow. Only had 11 players in my first tournament, and then the next one 30, then 50, then 70, and it just kept growing. And then Corona happened.
What did bring you to Thailand in the first place? How did you end up in Thailand?
So I was making video games for Activision in America. I worked on a game, Tony Hawk Pro Skater. I worked on the Xbox version, which launched in 2001, and it was a great game. But I worked huge amount of hours. Video game industry's big hours, and after that, I came out here for 2.5 weeks, and which was my longest holiday as an American, or Americans would say vacation. But so 2.5 weeks, and I came out here and I met all these Europeans. I'm like, they would say, "Oh, how long are you here for?" And I'm like, "Ooh, 17 days." And they would say, "Why so short?" Because all the Europeans, they take a month, you know. And I was like, wow. And then the politics had worked, everything happened, and a year later, they cut my position and then severance package, and I came here. And I came here, I was only going to stay a month, which I thought was forever long, but I ended up staying 3 months. And then when I went home, I thought, hey, you know, if I don't do it now, I'm never going to move. So I decided to go for it. Even though I had no idea what I was going to do, I thought maybe I could make a 6 month to a year break. And that was 20 years ago. So.
But what about those 7 years? There was no disc golf in Thailand at all during that time?
No. Not at all. One guy did a pop-up course in Chiang Mai, a little bit, but he did, you know, there was one small tournament, I think. Even it was like 6 players. He just registered it and did it, but there was no. It wasn't like There's no spot. It wasn't a big tournament, but really there was no movement. And then in 2013, my friend got a target basket for practice, and you know, a small portable basket. And at the same time, it was on Easter, and I went over to his house for Easter, and we moved it around, played a few holes, and then I came back here. And when I got back to my place, my landlady had cut all of what her land is, which is the original 9 holes. And I thought she only had a little bit of land behind the house, and it was all overgrown. There's a lot of concrete, there's a lot of debris, and but it was all cleared, and I could see how big it was. And I thought, hey, you know, I could put a 9-hole course, maybe a little crossing or whatever, but you know, it's just us, so might as well try. And then that happened in 2013, and by January 2014, we did our first tournament. 11 players, and like I said, a lot of crossing, but you know, we could space each other out like 3 or 4 holes.
What was the most difficult thing that you didn't anticipate?
The first 2 years when you start off really slow, and then when it actually gained momentum, because when I first talked to the PDGA and told them I'm opening a course in Thailand, they're like, oh, if you build it, they will come. And you know, sure, in America or places where there's other players, but to start out here, you know, I found like 4 players for the first year. I had 4 locals playing. That was it. And then we had the first tournament with 11 people, and like 3 or 4 people found it internationally and came, but like one worked in an airline, so they got free tickets. One guy was an American in Japan who came down, Andy Painter, and so then some locals came and saw, because so I named the tournament the Samui Swine Classic because my catering, and that year I had just got a pig cooker, and so I wanted to cook a pig for my small tournament, and I only had 11 people. I had to invite other people because I knew I was going to have way too much food. So my first tournament, there was probably like 30 people here who weren't playing, were just here to have food, and they saw the people playing, and they like, oh, this is interesting. And then I got a few of those people start playing, and then that year I had like 10, 15 people the second year playing, but it was still super small. And then in year 2, we got 30 people coming, and that really kicked in the momentum. And I didn't realize how many international players we were going to have here. It's amazing how many people come from all over.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this year we had 20 countries represented.
Yeah, we can see all the flags in the background.
Yeah.
It's crazy if you think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that belt doesn't like to stay.
Yeah, no, it's not lasting.
Pro Open Women's Champions
Yeah,
belt.
there you go.
And we have the
bacon belt.
the bacon belt. Oh, that's
yeah.
dude. Yeah.
Red leather for the bacon.
So those belts I have seen a lot of, let's say,
every
gifted
year.
hands.
Hands. Every year we engrave the names of the previous winners. So we've done 10. So this belt's full. And for the women's tournament, we didn't do our first FPO tournament till year 4. Because we didn't have any FPO women coming, and then
that's a little bit sad.
But because our local women weren't that good yet, and so they were playing FA1.
Yeah.
And then year 5, or year 4, then we started getting good players, and one of our own local players, she started becoming really good, and then
what's her name?
Her name is View Giorgio.
I think
yeah,
people have heard that name before.
Yeah. Everyone enjoys the view.
Yeah. It's like a perfect name.
Yeah. So she started playing here when she was like 17 or 18. She was really young, and she came out with her boyfriend. It must have been 18, and she was super competitive, and she didn't want to lose to her boyfriend. And her boyfriend was kind of awkward when he first started playing, but they were trying to beat each other, and they both pushed each other, and he became quite good. But for a girl, she was doing great. She could throw like 110, 120 meters at full throw.
Short run up for View. Oh, and just off the cage. Little ace run action for view.
Yeah, the first time she went to the European Open, though, is in June. And it was I think it was in Finland. Maybe it was Finland. Yeah, I think it was in Finland or Norway.
Yeah, European Open is, I think, yeah, it's in Finland.
Yeah, so it was in Finland. And it was June. And because they were on the women's card, they started like at 7 o'clock in the morning. Now, she's coming from Thailand, 25, 30 degrees. She gets there, and it's like 8 degrees at 7 in the morning. She was in like full winter clothes. She got there the day before, and she had to play the second day. She had never played in 8-degree weather. She was dying. She had gloves, a whole big hood, fur hat on. It was like, oh, and she was on camera. So her first tournament on the lead feature card for the women, and so it was a lot of nerves. And she was playing with your champion.
With Kristen.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So her first tournament,
footage.
her first tournament outside of Thailand. She was with Kristen. Yeah. You can
Maybe, any other names you can remember who still play from the beginning days?
Oh, one of our oldest players, Mark D'Ambrosi. We call him 10K because
Shout out to 10K.
There's 10K. His first league that he played in, or maybe it was like second or third. He was still he just got some new discs, wasn't used to them. He got a starter pack and had a DX Valkyrie in the starter pack. And after the first, we had a 9-hole course at the time, and he played the first 9 holes, and he was going back. He was about to give up. He's like, I'll just play one more hole on hole 1. And he throws a big spike hyzer. It goes straight in the basket.
Wow.
And at the time, we had 10,000 baht in the ace fund, and so that's why we call him 10K.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and he still plays to this day, and he's 73, 74. And he plays usually once a day.
Yeah, I actually have played with him, and he's a really nice guy.
Yeah. So yeah, he's probably the only guy who's been at all the swines.
Really?
He didn't play the first one, but he was. He wasn't one of the registered players. We had like a little short course for new people to try, and he had tried that and played. So
technically he has played all of them.
Yeah.
And everybody basically should know by now that there has been a lot of big names on this course. And who was the very first big name, and how did it happen?
So we had a new player come in at the time, Riley Hayes. He's a good friend of mine, and he'd played a lot in California, and he's from Wisconsin, and he had met Greg Barsby. Barsby stayed at his place, and so when he got here, he contacted him, and a lot of them a group of guys were going to Australian Open, and he was a travel agent at the time, so he said, hey, if you fly into Thailand, then fly to Australia, it's cheaper than flying direct, and then you could stop and play at tournaments here in Samui. And so Ricky Wasaki came, Barsby, Nico LaCastro, and Philo all came together as a group, and then they played Dave's course in the south. Then the next weekend they all went to Australia, and then the weekend after, Ricky had to go back, but Philo, Barsby, and Nico all played in my tournament here. And
Do you remember who won?
The first year was Philo won the first year. It was close. It was him and Nico down to the end, and then Philo won. Yeah, so that was exciting. And
sadly, we don't have any footage from 2017 when all the big names started coming here, but we have some footage from 2018 where Nico LaCastro caught his revenge. Check it out.
All right, guys. Ian Anderson, Corey Merrill, Central Coast Disc Golf, and what's new company, Corey?
It is Johnny Discgolf. A few of you may have heard that name before. I don't know. It's on my socials, but I'm excited.
Go check out his YouTube channel if you haven't. Lots of good content coming. We are back in Koh Samui, the Swine Classic. We got the final 9. And We got 5 people this time, Corey.
Oh, a little bonus golf.
Yeah, I think they
like
tied. Got some germ action thrown on there.
Oh, hard to complain about that.
Yeah, I know. It's like, you might as well. And Philo. They're tied at 20 down. Nico leading the card with a 27. Greg and Disc Maniac Nathan within lurking distance.
I like that, and I like that you used the same picture for both Nico and Nate. That's like efficient of you.
They totally confused me before. They got the same hair going on,
I
man.
love
Look it up. Looks like we got a little star frame action there, and we're on to hole 9. Nico's not losing. This one is a straight and then a dogleg left. Low ceiling tunnel shot here. Need a skip.
This one's tough.
It is. We haven't seen hardly any birdies.
No, I mean, just with the aggressive left skip that you need, but how early you have to hit that tunnel, it's really tough because you have to throw something stable.
Yeah.
But getting something stable to go straight is, not something I have in the bag.
Yeah, and you got to miss a lot of stuff after that skip happens too. Quite a bit of foliage. Nico, he's not doing that though.
No, he's going Conrad on us.
He is.
Oh, he's going up?
Yeah, I think he's going.
Oh,
he's going
you
Simon
animal.
on us.
You animal.
It's up there. It's coming down. It's short.
Hey, entertainment value is there.
High.
Yes.
High. Just like the
EV.
disc. Nate. He's going to take a more traditional line, it looks like.
Ooh.
Miss it.
Whoa.
How? That is the road less traveled right there.
Sure. All right. Cool.
Apparently, there's a gap over there.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
And the Idlewild line.
Dang. Exactly. Oh.
Oh, thumber.
This is a solid move by Germ. Oh, my.
Oh, is it though? Yeah, it might work okay. Oh yeah,
Dude.
He has got legit one of the biggest thumbers on tour. I mean, he's no J.C. Kester.
No.
Oh.
Forehand roller from Barsby.
What is this round is devolving at this point, dude, and I'm loving it. Philo's like, you guys are crazy.
I'm going to throw a normal shot.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh.
should have thrown the flick roller.
Did not get a normal skip, though.
No.
Hit that little kind of root ball action there. We got to see a birdie
Somebody,
here from Germ.
you have to make this.
After
Thank
that thumber,
you.
man. Oh, yeah.
That's a
Good.
great shot. It's just a unique tool to have in the bag.
Oh, seriously.
You know?
It doesn't bust it out often, though.
No, but when he does, it's like, what do you? Oh.
Oh, yeah. You can do that, and it's awesome. Nate's going to clean up, as will Philo. Give Nico a chance to putt out for the win. Last.
So kind. Or are they?
Oh.
Come
yeah,
on,
it's not-
Greg. There we
There we go. Greg's on it.
This is pre-Worlds, Greg.
Yep.
I bet you now he'll give everyone a chance to putt last. Here we go, Nico.
Yep.
Don't miss that.
There we go. Love it, man. There is your Koh Samui Swine Classic champion, Nico LaCastro.
Wow, it's like as big of a celebration as an NT win right
I'll
there.
take it, man. I'll take it.
Yeah.
I want to see some emotion. Pretty good gallery coming out. Really cool tournament. Really cool setting. Really stoked to be able to capture this. And huge thanks for Peter going out to Thailand and making that happen.
Absolutely. Oh, look at this. Is he going to keep this?
Yeah, I don't know. I think the next year's winner might have it now. We'll see.
Man, that is incredible. San Francisco Open. I'm advocating right now we go to a winner's belt.
I think that's Nigel.
Oh, I've never actually met him, but I've
Yeah.
heard so much about him.
Yeah.
So, but tell me, what was like the most surprisingly easy thing to create the course here?
The easy thing?
Yeah, what you were thinking like before, this stuff is going to be so difficult, but when you start doing it, it was actually easy.
Well, doing the maintenance, it takes a lot. It's a lot of work. It's a jungle, and you have to maintain it. But it's very satisfying. Like when you finish it and it looks good, you take a lot of pride in it. I wouldn't say it's easy, but it's definitely the most satisfaction is when I finish it and it's all clean, and then I have people coming from all over, and then playing. It's a good feeling. That is one of the people go, oh, don't you want to play? And I do all this so everyone else can play and have a good time. I can play all year long. It's my, I don't need to play against the competition. I've never been a super competitive player anyways, but I like tournaments because I like meeting people.
Oh, one thing what we can talk about is that we are in tropics, so the weather is really nice. And with nice weather, everybody knows there's like always dangerous animals. Yeah, Thailand has scorpions, it has snakes, it has spiders,
Sure.
centipedes. But tell me, what is the most dangerous thing on this course?
the coconuts. I mean, I'm not scared of any of that other stuff. The
Yeah.
coconuts is the biggest thing. Here on the island, most Thais will harvest the coconuts every 6 months. We harvest every 2 months. This is a working coconut plantation.
Oh, okay.
So we can't just trim all the trees back to no coconuts. So we get them to come out more. The guys who harvest coconuts live close by, and they come out with the monkeys. So trees up to like 12 meters, they have poles, and they can kind of pick the coconuts themselves. They stand right underneath this huge pole, and they use a little knife, and they pull down, and then the coconut like falls rapidly towards their head, and then they sidestep, and then they keep doing this over and over again. But then they send their monkeys up for the taller trees that they can't reach, and the monkeys have been trained to spin the coconuts, and then they drop. But just like the leaves, they come out the top, and then they kind of expand, and then they come down. The coconuts do the same thing, and the ripe coconuts are hanging at the bottom. So if you look up a tree and there's low coconuts below the leaves, those could fall and drop on people. But snakes, we've never had a cobra on the course. I've seen pretty big snakes, but they're more like tree snakes. They're kind of thinner, green and brown, not like thick pythons or anything like that. And I've cleaned most of the dead wood and stuff on the course. So dead wood, if you were to flip it over, that's where you're gonna have your centipedes and scorpions. So you want to keep that stuff off the course. So I try to keep my course super clean. I put a lot of work into it because I want it enjoyable.
So 10 years is a long time. Probably the course has changed a lot.
Yeah.
So how many changes has there been?
There's been a lot of changes over the years. Revs of the course, let's see. There's probably been like maybe 8 formats.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's a lot.
Yeah. Because as I add new land and stuff, I have to change. So, we started off with just the mainland here. Then we had the big field for a while. And then we added to the big field. Then we got to the river holes. And then we lost the big field. Then we got to the other side of the river. So it's always expanding, and there's other land out there that I'm looking forward to try to expand.
It has been all over the years, like the most exciting hole. Does it still exist? Or
The most exciting hole?
yeah,
My favorite hole is hole 5.
okay. The one
I
over
just like the
the
look of it. I like having the river behind it. When you get out there and looking from the tee pad, it just looks great to me. It's my favorite hole. I'm not particularly good at it. I've birdied it, maybe 10, 20 times out of 1,000 times. Or, I don't know. I played a lot and only a few birdies, but I don't throw far. If you throw far, you can birdie it.
Yeah, that does.
The only hole that's exactly the same is hole 1.
Oh, yeah.
Right behind me is hole 1.
Yeah.
And I have a theory on every course should have a super short hole that anyone can ace, because there's ace funds in every tournament, and if all your holes are over 300 feet, there's people who can't throw 300 feet, and why would they put in the ace fund if they have no chance?
Yeah.
So I think there should always be one hole that anyone in any division, from the oldest players to juniors can throw. Most juniors can throw 44 meters. It's not a. So even the juniors
So
could.
let's call all out everybody who has a course have one short hole.
have at least one short hole that the whole field can potentially ace.
Yeah. You heard it from Thailand. If you don't like it, you can come and visit and try it yourself.
Yeah. And it's funny when the pros play that hole. Most of them never ever try to run it because it's such a short hole that they have to get a 2, and so they'll just underthrow it to make sure that they're just tapping in.
Talking about that, it reminds me of a story what happened this year, because this year you had just a Chris here,
Yeah.
and I heard he came from the plane, landed, came here, and the very first shot aced the first hole.
He threw 2 practice putts on the last hole, 10 meters out, and then he walked up to hole 1, and he misguessed the distance,
Yeah.
and he shot it really hard, but it was going right at the basket. And he said if he missed, he was going to be past the hole 2 tee pad.
Wow.
But it went right into the center of the basket and smash.
Yeah.
Because most people don't realize how short hole 1 is.
Yeah. It's,
And if it's your first time throwing it, you throw half power with your putter.
yeah, we can look it from here. It's
Yeah.
like 45 meters, 44 meters on
Yeah.
the map, but it looks farther for some reason. From the current layout, is there any hole you're thinking about? Maybe I should tweak a little bit.
I don't think about. I'm pretty happy with the current format, but what'll happen is what always happens is some land will become available, and when other land becomes available, then all of a sudden you go, the way the course flows doesn't work now, so that's what makes me change holes. Right now with the way it is, I might try to make some tee pads a little different angles or kind of stretch them back. Like hole 11, I could bring it further back into the right, and we can shoot through the gap. Right now we shoot through 2 small trees, but if we move it to the right of those, we can go further back and make it a little longer.
So we talked a little bit about the past, a little bit about the present. What about the future? Do you have any grand plans? Or-
Well, one day, obviously, like we'd like to get we want to do a Thailand Open. That'd be as an A tier, hopefully as a major at some point. But it's about finding the right venue for it, and this is not the right venue for it. But because to have a major, we can't have it in my house. Like we need more facilities. We need it needs to be more open. It needs to be bigger. Like a ball golf course. What's going on in Chiang Mai. There's
maybe
a
do
lot
a
of
pop-up.
a lot of future possibilities with there. I've talked to the ball golf courses here on the islands about doing pop-ups, but they have not been. The Thai guys are like, I try to show them videos and they're just like, we do golf, and I'm like, yeah, I understand, but they have not connected a value that. I mean, like the Santabury golf course is beautiful. It's owned by a Singa brewery, so it's an amazing thing. It's on the hillside up here. It has views of all the north coast of Samui and amazing ocean views, and would be an amazing spot.
So there's not like any specific plans for next 5 years?
To grow the sport in Thailand, I want to go to these other regions and try to help promote with them. And we've worked out some deals with Prodigy this year. We got an extra 100 discs to give away for kids, lightweight discs, so for new players and stuff.
Yeah.
So we'd love to, like I mentioned before, Chiang Mai, they're really growing. Like to get into other areas. Pom Holiday, he's been a big Thai national who's been trying to grow the sport.
That's the one in Pattaya, if I'm correct. No?
He has the course in Komak,
Okay.
and then he helped the Pattaya course open. He got them interested, and so I went to the Pattaya tournament, and that was the first time that I'd been to a tournament that I was kind of, because I got Pom into the sport. It was the first time I didn't have to do anything. I showed up to the tournament and I just got to hang out and play. It was a lot of fun. Because normally I'm always working, I'm always running around helping people, and they just have fun and have a good time. So seeing the sport grow and allowing me to just enjoy it instead of having to work all the time is fun too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because disc golf in general is so much fun, actually, if you think about it.
I love going to a tournament and not having to do anything and just show up and hang out and meet people. I like to talk trash in a fun way, like I like to tease people.
Yeah.
And,
Greetings to Christo right now.
yeah. Hey, Christo, I'd give you, we're on camera.
He knows.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's what I enjoy. Hang out with my friends, having a few beers afterwards,
what would you say, like, what is the biggest obstacle of promoting disc golf in Thailand?
The lack of parks,
Okay.
the lack of free public space.
Yeah, I
The
can see that.
the fact that every course has to be a business. This is real difficult because you need the amount of work it takes to run a course. People don't think of all the little things, but it's not just open and run because we don't have a big Thai player base yet, and there's a lot of things that happen, and as an expat, all the business points of running, I have to pay, income tax, and I have to all the business taxes. There's lots. It's not high compared to like America or anything, but you don't put it into your business plan, and you got to think about what you have to do. And the point is, it's all business. It's not just, oh, hey, let's go talk to the city council and get this park installed, and then we'll just run a club to maintain it.
Yeah.
I would love to be in a situation where I could be in a club and I could just show up and help. But instead, you have to do everything. And my local players, when I need help, sometimes I'll put out the word, and I always get a ton of support from them. And they've been really
Shout out to Peter.
Peter. Over the years, there's been many guys who've really helped, and it doesn't go unnoticed. I always thank them so much because you can't do everything on your own. You try, but you just can't. There's some things you just can't do on your own. Like lift these tee pads.
Yeah.
They're portable tee pads with turf, but portable, you need 6, maybe 8 people to move them. You can lift them with like 4 guys, but to move them, you can put on the back of the truck. It's hard. They're
Yeah, but they need to be hard.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
yeah,
it's not usable.
Yeah, exactly.
We have some Samui stamps discs. Is it possible for anybody else from the world if they want to get those discs?
Sure. Luke Butch he's running the pro shop, and we have the discs there. You can contact me or him, and we could sort out shipping anywhere. It's slow, 3-4 weeks, but we can get them there, and it doesn't cost much. Shipping to Thailand is super expensive, but shipping outside from Thailand, it's not too bad. So
Okay.
we can work it out. If anyone wants anything, contact us.
Yeah, and are there any Instagram, Facebook groups?
So
they can follow?
the most active group I use is the Samui Disc Golf Facebook page, and if you message, I answer that every day. You can email me. I can give you the details. You can put in later, but nigelmills@gmail is my email, and I read that all the time.
I also took part of the Wednesday singles game, and like we can see, there are already people coming together, and it's always nice. So people started pouring in like about 30 minutes before the game. Here we had Heidi, and here we have Tom coming. Big shout out to Tom, really like to play with you guys. Sad you had to leave Thailand a little bit earlier than I did. Signing up for the event is old school. You pay your fee and sign your name in the book. Here we see the 2 organizers, Nigel and Luke, putting down the groups for the event. And again, it works old school. They look down from the phone, a spreadsheet they keep count of with a handicap. But fair to say, Nigel said they're trying to go more digital in the future. We'll see if that happens. Started from hole 5, and here we're showing you with whom I played. This is Dave, and this is Benji, probably the most famous disc golf kid in the world, I would say. And here is me. I started with the mid-range on this hole. Was pin high, but we can see the line was really wrong.
Okay. Back door?
And the last companion was Einar from Iceland. It was really nice playing with you, dude. So here we have my scores. I'm going to show you hole 6, 7, 8, 10 and 11. Yeah, it was a quite average game, but I had fun. The people around me were having fun, and that's the main thing about disc golf. Here we have a really nice spot from really long distance. I think it was like almost 15 meters. Here we have an interesting way to split two trees. That was not the intended line, but it was parked, so we'll take it. And just unlucky a little bit, but it was fun in the end of the day. This concludes part 1 of this vacation at Koh Samui. I hope you liked it, and I hope you're going to visit. I really think it's worthwhile. Before you go, thank you for watching. Do all the YouTube things. Follow me in Instagram, on TikTok, and support me on Patreon. Have a beautiful day. This was Discgolf Express, and see you next time.